This is Mrs. Barrett. We are going to be working today on lesson 2.2. In your Big Goal Math book, it is page 65. Today we will divide by one-digit divisors. Our essential question is, how do you solve abstract division problems? We will begin by unlocking the problem with a real-world example. Please follow along with me. Jenna's family is planning a trip to Oceanside, California. They will begin their trip from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and will travel 2,754 miles over 9 days. If the family travels an equal number of miles every day, how far will they travel each day? So I have to think to myself, first, what is this problem asking us? We have to find out which sentence tells us what you're trying to divide. You need to circle the numbers that you need to use. So if I know that this question is telling me that we're doing something over 9 days total, which is our trip, and how far will they travel each day? So this is the sentence that's telling me that I need to use division. Circle the numbers you need to use. Well, I start with 2,754, and I see over 9 days. So I'm going to divide 2,754 divided by 9. My first step is to use an estimate to place the first digit in the quotient. When I am solving division problems, I estimate, and sometimes after I set it up, remember we have 2,754 divided by 9. I cover up my digit in the ones and tens place value, and I think to myself, how many times does 9 go into 27? So 9 goes into 27 3 times. So 9 would go into 2,700 300 times. So I'm going to estimate that 2,700 or 2,700 divided by 9 equals 300. So my 3 is going to go in my hundreds place value. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to put my 3. So now I'm going to divide my hundreds. So 9 goes into 27 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. And I am left with 27 minus 27 gives me 0. Now I'm going to divide my 10s. Bring down my 10. And I say to myself, how many times does 9 go into 5? Well, I know that 5 is smaller than 9, so it cannot. It will go in 0 times. And 9 times 0 is 0. I do my subtraction. 5 minus 0 is 0. And then I don't need to bring that one down. Next step, now I'm going to divide my 1s. And bring my 1s down. Now I have to look and I have to say and divide. How many times does 9 go into 54? Well, I know that 9 times 6 equals 54. Remember, you have in your planner the multiplication chart. You may use that chart to help you to find factors that will get you your partial quotient. So, 9 times 6 is 54. I do my subtraction, and I have no remainders left over. So since my answer, my quotient, 306, is close to my estimate, my original estimate of 300. The answer is reasonable. So, Jenna's family will travel 306 miles each day. We're going to make a connection between division and multiplication. Division and multiplication are what are called inverse operations. And inverse operations are opposite operations that undo each other. You can always use multiplication to check your answer to a division problem. In this example, we have 614 divided by 6. I can see that they went through and divided the hundreds, subtracted, brought down, divided the tens, subtracted, brought down, then divided the ones. We have a remainder of 2. If I were to check my answer, I would multiply my quotient, which is my answer, 102, times my divisor, which is 6. 6 times 2 is 12, carry my 1. 6 times 0 plus 1 is 7, and 6 times 1 . See, I made a mistake. Let me go back. Let's try that again. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry my 1. 6 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. And 6 times 1 is 6. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my remainder and I'm going to add it on to my quotient to see if I can find my dividend. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Sorry guys, my pen is, there we go. 1, 2, 4, 1, add them up. Since the result of the check equals my original dividend, the division problem is correct. So I can go back and say that 614 divided by 6 is 102. Remainder 2. That's one way that you can always check your division problems. It is worth the time to go through and to make sure that it does work. You can use what you know about checking division to find an unknown value. So, in this case, if I have an unknown value here in my dividend, but I know my quotient and I know my divisor, I could say that my quotient times my divisor equals my dividend. So I could do 63 times 7, and that would give me this dividend here that I don't know yet. Seven times 3 is 21. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus my 2 that I carried is 44. So I'm going to multiply my divisor and my quotient, and then my dividend is going to give me 441. For problem B, it's asking you to find your remainder. In order to find your remainder, you can multiply your divisor times your quotient and see what's left over. So they did that for us. They took 125 times 6, and the answer was 750. But wait, my dividend is 752. So what number added to 750 gives me 752? My remainder would be 2. For today, I'm going to go through and show you the first problem, and then you are going to be working in your Flow Math book, pages 67, problem 1 through 15, odd, and all of page 68. So 1 through 15, odd problems, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. And then on the next page, page 68, you're going to be doing all of these problems. If you look, it's one real-world problem, and you're going to use the table to solve problems 19 and 20, and then there's other questions that relate to division. You're going to be modeling and making sense of division. So I'll do number 1. I'm going to start by saying, does 8 go into 6? No, it does not. So I'm going to go from my hundreds plus and I'll go over to my tens. Does 8 go into 62? Okay, yes it does. And I think to myself, okay, I know that 8 times 8 is 64. But that's not really going to help me because that's too much. So instead of 8 times 8, I'm going to try 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is 56, so that'll work. Now I can subtract my 56 and see what I have left to move over to my 1. So 2 minus 6. Oh, can't do that, so I need to borrow. 12 minus 6 gives me 6, and now I have 5 and 5, so I'll leave that blank because it's 0. Now I need to move over to my 1's place value, so I'm going to bring that down. 64. Oh, I know that 8 goes into 64 8 times. Remember, you can use your planner with your multiplication chart in there to help you find those products and factors that work together. 8 times 8 equals 64. 64 minus 64. I have no remainder, and my answer is 78. Now, check your answer, part 2. Let's see if it works. So 78 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry my 6. 7 times 8 is 56. Plus 6 is 62. So I have 624 here, 624 here. My answer checks, and I can move on to the next problem. If you have any questions today, please reach out. Make sure you snap a picture of your work and send it to me in Teams. Have a great day.